day. Food shop. Need food, petrol. What else?
That's all you need.
I know. I don't need anything else. Got Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, that's it.
Agreed.
And a Plague Tale Requiem.
You're not wasting any more money.
No. But who needs food?
Oh,
Or electric. A Plague Tale Innocence was one of the most amazing underrated games I have played in recent months. There was not much promotion for this game as it was made by a small indie developer, Asobo Studios, and if you haven't played this game, then you've lost it. Its story is breathtaking and it is compared to one of the most famous franchises, which I'll get to near the end of the video. A Plague Tale Requiem is going to be up there with one of the best games in 2022. So let's run through these 10 things you need to know about A Plague Tale Requiem. Number 10. A Plague Tale Requiem takes place 6 months after the end of Innocence. After leaving their devastated homeland, Amicia and Hugo, her younger brother, young alchemist Lucas, and their mother travel south to new regions and cities. They have been living a relatively peaceful life. Hugo has a sickness and a power as he is able to control the rats. This takes place at the time of the plague around the 14th century. Hugo's got these insane powers. Or a curse. I do have a bit of power myself. His illness flares up massively and rats start to flood the city they are in and they are forced to flee once again. Hugo has been having a reoccurring dream about an island, so they flee to this island on the south of France in order to find a cure. Then it all starts. Number 9. Hugo has the ability to control rats, and near the end of the first game we had the ability to control them to take down enemies. In Requiem, when controlling the rats, it will be in a first person view along with Hugo's new ability known as Echo. This can mark enemies through walls and take them down in such a brutal way.
You're too tired. Don't worry.
You have to be careful when using this ability because Hugo won't be able to use it all the time. You will have a stress meter, and if it gets too much, he can lose control. This is going to be a brutal way of taking down enemies, but the game will not want us to just keep using this. This is a bit more in a last resort if there's a lot of enemies and you're like, screw it. Hugo, you're going to have to take one for the team. Number 8. Amicia is the oldest sister, and she is the protector of Hugo. They didn't really have a relationship at all. She didn't really spend time with her brother. As the game went along, they were forced to build a relationship in order to survive. In the first game, Amicia was devastated when she had to kill someone for the first time.
I didn't want to. Amicia! Hugo!
But now she has hardened up. You will have now access to new and improved tools for combat and stealth. She now has a knife to take down enemies for stealth kills. And she also has a very cool new bow, which looks so damn badass to take down some of these enemies. She can now combine tools and substances to have access to new and improved tools for combat and stealth. She can even use some of these substances to light enemies on fire when needed to.
Don't. There are too many. That's madness.
She's really hardened up from this game. She's hard. She's hard. Number 7. The developers have promised that the rats are going to be a lot better at catching their prey. But more importantly, there's going to be a hell of a lot more. A lot more. The technical limitations of previous generation hardware made it possible to only see 5,000 rats on screen at any time. We'll be able to see up to 300,000 rats on screen at any time. Stealth was such an important role in the first game, and sometimes it was super frustrating because it is a one-hit death. If you got caught, once they got up to you, you were dead. Unless you had Somnum in your arsenal, I think I said that right, where you could put enemies to sleep. If you were lucky that you had some, you would get away from one enemy. If more than 2 or 3 enemies knew you were there, you were dead. What's been improved is Amicia can now withstand getting hit more than once, which will now allow her to flee, hide, and get back into stealth, which will not break the immersion. The amount of times I died in this game, it did get a little bit frustrating. Again, my god, I'm getting angry.
Calm yourself down.
Damn it! Stupid mother freaking stupid mother!
You're paying for that.
Yeah, I'll pay for that. Enemy AI is going to be a lot more improved, and they're going to be able to communicate with the other enemies in the game so that they could tactically find you, which is pretty scary. They will remember your last location, so you do need to move around, and if they do see you, you will need to find another strategy in order to kill them or get past them. In the first one, the enemies were quite stupid. If they caught you, you were dead, but they were quite easy to escape, and they're like, whipped away, where are you?
Search thoroughly.
Somebody come look at this.
Just forget it. Someone else will get them.
Hi.
So depending on your playstyle, enemy AI can adapt to what Amicia does, so you will have to mix up your playstyle. If you are continuously killing enemies in a certain way, they will adapt and recognize this, making it more difficult for you, so you will have to find different ways and different playstyles. I'm not sure what that means, but I can imagine you keep sneaking up on enemies or using a certain tool, they might adapt to that situation. Number 6, we will be able to unlock new skills for stealth and combat, as well as alchemy upgrades. We will still have access to our normal 4 slingshot abilities, as well as the new crossbow which I mentioned. There are much more guards than before, so we will have to use all of Amicia's abilities such as stunning, stealth kill, or lighting these guards on fire. So based off the situation, we're going to have to recognize what are we going to do and what are we going to use. You can't just like, yeah, screw it, I'm going to keep using Hugo until he dies. Hugo?
Hello.
Hugo? You will also have control of a new soldier named Arno, who you can use to take down enemies. I'm not sure how long of the game or what part of the game we're going to have control over him, but we're going to have to be strategic in order to use him. It might seem an easy option, but he's very loud and he's going to create a lot of noise. So if there's a lot of enemies nearby, he's probably not the best choice. So we're going to make sure that we have to use our brain.
Just like you did when you went and pre-ordered this game and you have no money. Go on then.
I needed this game. I needed it.
We're gonna have bailiffs knocking at the door.
No, we're not. It's probably my mom.
Open up! You owe us some money!
Get rid of the PlayStation. Get rid of the PlayStation. Number 5. There has been a massive improvement to the graphics of the game, and it is evident in the gameplay we have seen. Amicia and Hugo seem so much more realistic now. It's like their characters really come to life. Now, the first game, you could tell the character models were still impressive, but they didn't really feel really that real. Their acting and the storyline was so good, that brought them to life. Seeing these animations on the screen just takes it to another level of realism, especially with the environments as well. Even when at the start where he sees a fair, it looks so beautiful and so rich when there's loads of people on screen. This is going to be one of the most beautiful games on the PS5. Innocence was such a beautiful game. This game, they have made the necessary improvements to take this game to another level. Number 4. This game looks absolutely beautiful. There are so many improvements, and also because it's only for current gen consoles. It's great to see some companies utilize the power of current generation consoles. Obviously, it's a bit of a bummer if people haven't got those consoles. About the same time, these games are going to come out a lot more polished because they're not focusing on trying to transfer it to older hardware. Yes, it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch, only on cloud version. With hundreds of thousands of rats rendered all at once, this game has been confirmed that it has been rebuilt from the ground up.
To look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2.
We could never do before.
You hear that? Rebuilt from the ground up.
Number 3. What is exciting about this game on the PS5 is that they will take full advantage of the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback on the DualSense controller. Oh, yes! They stated it will bring a whole new level of realism and immersion to A Plague's Tale. With the different weapons and tools we will get, they will feel also different in our hand. And of course, if certain weapons require different pressure, the sensation of effort will change. For instance, Amicia's bow, you can imagine how satisfying that will feel. Pulling back on that bow and releasing. For some reason, using bows on the DualSense controller, such as Astro's Playroom, Kena, they feel so good in your hand. There will be a sequence like the first game, like when you use your sling, you have to feel the rhythm to it and release it at the right time. The triggers will give the impression that the shooting becomes harder. When we sprint, we will feel every step with Amicia and Hugo, and I love that about the first game. Damn, it's so good to have a PlayStation. Yes, I know it's on Xbox Game Pass. Alright. But still, I'm definitely going to be buying this game. Number 2, game has been compared to another franchise and they have taken inspiration from this franchise, and that is The Last of Us. This is a story about a brother and sister, a duo whose relationship isn't all that great at the start of the game. And as you play as them throughout the game, you realize they're not perfect and all they're trying to do is survive. So you see the development of their relationship, similar to Ellie's and Joel's. With some of the puzzles of the game, it does feel like a Naughty Dog game with some of the sequences you have to do, like to send Hugo forward or get him to wait. They've taken a lot of inspiration, which is great because Naughty Dog do make some amazing games. You're probably waiting for it, Joe.
I hate The Last of Us Part 2.
Even the game director, Kevin Shotay, I've said that wrong probably, he stated that he is happy when players compare this to The Last of Us. With A Plague Tale Requiem, our goal is not to make a bigger, larger or longer game, it's to improve the quality. We are huge fans of Naughty Dog, and if we can approach their quality, then we will be super happy. And from the first game, you can see the talent in this studio. Let's hope Amicia doesn't pop up.
Awesome. I love
I hate it. Number 1. With so many games coming out lately, 60, 70 pounds, $70, this game is coming out around the holiday season and there's a lot of competition. Gotham Knights, God of War Ragnarok. So the price is such a good deal. At my local game, it is £44.99 and I don't get it why they're so high in price, because I went on Amazon and the game is £39.95, which is a steal. But when I went on Amazon USA, it was $59.99. That's a bit of an increase. If you have never played A Plague Tale Innocence, you are missing out. If you love a story-driven game, it is like The Last of Us. It is gripping all the way through. And if you are going to play the sequel, you have to play the first one. Will you be buying the game on day one, or do you have Xbox? Will you be using Game Pass? Let me know and comment your thoughts below. Now let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. 10 things you need to know about Gotham Knights on PS5. And before I get into it, as I was editing this video, news broke out that Gotham Knights will only run at 30 FPS on console. I am very surprised that it is only at 30 FPS. I did my last video and I assumed that it would have two options, a performance 60 FPS and a fidelity mode. I am very shocked about the game. I know there's a lot of people cancelling their pre-orders. People are angry. I'm going to be a bit optimistic about the game. I'm going to wait until I see and play the game for myself, so I'm not going to cancel my pre-order. The gameplay footage, I didn't even notice it was 30 FPS, but we're just going to have to see. Shout out to Mags. Great video. I've still not decided if I'm going with it or not. The Arkham trilogy was and still is a masterpiece, so it's really hard for the developers to live up to it. The game looks extremely beautiful, but I'm not yet bought with the combat mechanism. All I have to say is I won't pre-order and wait for the reviews. I know I've compared the game to the Arkham. I know they're different developers and we really shouldn't, but obviously it's a continuation of the story and that is why we are comparing it so much. And when I saw how quick Arkham Knight was and the Batman games, I'm starting to really open up about the combat of this game, and I'm sure it's going to be a very good game. I really hope so. Next stop, continue to play Asteragos and then buy A Plague Tale Requiem.
Stop, man.
I'll put it on the credit card.